guys know, I do not like to speak about myself or show any vulnerability. Like, this is so out of my comfort zone. I can stand in front of you and talk about many of the amazing women I have in my life without a problem. But doing anything personal for me is very difficult. So this is completely out of my comfort zone. I'm going to tell you just a small piece of my story. I want you all to know ahead of time that I'm a very proven and time again tested strong woman. I'm not someone you want to play the poor me game with. One, I have a really good trump card in my pocket always, and two, I don't believe there's anything poor about me. Empathy is my number 2 talent. I can feel what you're feeling, so as I speak, please focus on my strength. I can sense it and appreciate being surrounded by it at all times, especially right now. Strong. I love words. I love their origin, how they're used, and meaning has evolved over the years, and how you can play on them. Strong is absolutely my favorite word. In fact, if you ask 10 people to describe me in one word, 9 out of 10 of them would say strong or something very similar. I love strong so much that I often joke that I was going to change my middle name to it. Abby Super Strong Shephard. I actually want a shirt made that says that. Needless to say, when my dear friend Robin Sino introduced me to Strengthsfinder, I was intrigued. How could I refuse the opportunity to be more strong? And I'm so glad I did. In a very short period of time, I made sense. Have you ever wondered why you are the way you are? Is everyone like you? Do they think the way you think? Do they process things the way you process them? Do people even wonder about these things, or is it just me? How I think, why I think the things I think, and how I have the intuition of a fortune teller. And by the way, that totally freaks people out. I love to mess with them on that one. How I see patterns everywhere. And how I'm happiest focusing on other people, their challenges, and helping them. My fear of being bipolar or having multiple personality disorder has been replaced with the internal battle between analytical and empathy. So I have my non-biased, very objective judge and my emotional feeler just duking it out constantly inside of me. Being refereed by my strategic, consulted by my restorative, and all the while my developer sees potential in all of us and thinks we should all play well together. I can honestly look back at most of my life and see how my raw talents, unrecognized, untrained, and misguided, were very present through some very tough times. Being abused as a child, physical illnesses, and the loss of people closest to me. Excuse me, the trick I learned recently. You cannot cry and eat or drink food. I've witnessed. It's impossible. I've tested it. And the loss of people closest to me who have kept me from having an even worse existence. My talents helped me survive, and for that I'm very grateful. After my youngest son's 5th open heart surgery in October 2012, and at the end of a 6-year toxic relationship, I decided that I was done surviving and settling and letting others value or lack of value for me set my self-worth. I was ready to thrive and live big. I was ready to show others who I was so that maybe they could love me and value me as I loved and valued myself. 2 months after that, I was in a major car accident where I sustained a major head injury, which also helped find a large mass on my pineal gland in my brain. It's a common thing, actually, look at concerned. About 4% of people have it. Most of theirs are about 3 millimeters in diameter. Mine is 11. I always knew I had bigger brains than those people. And I was actually thrilled to find out that this is something that most fortune tellers have, and they call it the third eye, the peace me. I think it goes hand in hand with my empathy. We could call it the empathy gland from that one. Unable to think clearly and forced to sit in the dark, rest my brain, me, the overthinker, Miss Analytical and Strategic. I struggled with vocabulary and speech and was really unable to work for about 3 months. And mind you, I was a single mom with with 4 kids and no other source of income or assistance. Not even mentioning that I still need back surgery. I've gained over 30 pounds, losing all of my muscle and the strength and endurance I had built from years and years of being an athlete and training for such things as the Tough Mudder, which I thought was a piece of cake, and the CIM, which my accident happened about a month before that, so hopefully in the next couple of years I will be able to complete that. I did not feel strong for many months. As I was regaining my mental health, I was introduced to Brandon Miller and Strengthsfinder. I had a vision of what I wanted my life to look like, but was afraid it wasn't safe, realistic, and I believe I had a lack of knowledge and experience to be successful. That was my analytical working overtime in the basement. He helped me to understand my talents, how to use them for good, not evil, which led me to using them cooperatively. My developer can see the potential in me. Empathy can build the people around me who support me and believe in me. Ever strategic is laying the foundation and creating a plan, and my restorative is handling the issues and concerns as they arise, caused usually by using my analytical, not productively. I overthink everything, and I create problems I really don't have. Just as I was getting my business in order, taking the trainer certification with 34 Strong, setting up my real estate team, aligning my business with my values, putting procedures in place so that I could step away and focus on my passion, speaking, consulting, and mentoring, I received a call on a Sunday night. My youngest son had had a seizure and stopped breathing for a period of time. In the very near future, I arrived at a very small hospital that I did not want him at. That did not seem to think having a seizure was a big deal, even for someone like him. And the strategic took over. In a very short period of time, my son was transferred to Shephard Memorial Hospital, a hospital I loved and trusted dearly as they gave us 15 amazing gifts of years with him, full of lessons and laughter and love. One more, sorry. Within 3 days, they discovered a large tumor was crushing his brain and performing the surgery to remove it. He died on the table for over 30 minutes. While they brought his body back, he was never there. And 6 days later, we removed him from life support. During this entire time, I need you guys to be strong. Come on, you're sitting strong. My empathy is going, oh, these people, I'm so sorry for you. Don't, I'm telling you, this life is a gift. During this time, my entire focus was on preserving what was left of our family, taking care of the needs of others. I'm so grateful for my empathy, not right this moment, but usually I am. Without words, I could feel the overwhelming support from people. I could be strong for others. Resentment towards my ex-husband was replaced with empathy for his loss. While we were both his parents, we had had very different relationships with him. And I should also tell you guys this. So my son had his first open heart surgery when he was about 4 months old. It did not go well. He caught the flu after his second one, which was literally a week later. And he sustained major brain injuries and major cardiovascular complications and went without oxygen to his brain for some time. So mentally, my son was like a 3 or 4-year-old. By the way, I love 3 or 4-year-olds. They do not have filters. They are pure joy. They don't know mammal. I say he didn't have any malice, but he was such a stinker. I loved him. 15 great years. So I was able to appreciate what my ex-husband had and the life he had with him, because it's not something I considered while he was alive. My strategic and analytical took over and was able to plan the service and arrange all of his final, plan everything out. And I honestly am so grateful for Keller Williams because I was supported by 5 amazing offices and hundreds of agents around me. I could not have done his final services without them. I have many other talents that pitched into. Arranger, I have so many in my top 10 that absolutely I'm grateful for and that can handle anything. I always say it ever hits the fan, I'm somebody you want in a corner. I can absolutely jump in and take care of anything. It seems like a distant negative memory now. Well, it usually does until I'm telling you guys for the first time and you guys are feeling sad for me. Now I'm right there with you. Thanks for bringing me here, people. As much as I lost a son, I was more grateful for the many years I had with them. Less than a month later, I needed a break from condolences and sympathetic looks. My empathy is so hard. I go from my own feelings of love, gratitude, laughter, and strength to the sadness that others were showering me in. I celebrated my 40th birthday alone in Costa Rica. It was horrible. No, it wasn't. It really wasn't. I wasn't Kate's mom. I wasn't Abby the realtor. I wasn't the counselor, the business analyst, the connector, the legal advisor, the comedian, the bodyguard, or any other role I had created for myself. I was just a curious, single American woman who people watched a lot and asked a lot of questions. I saw patterns and behaviors everywhere. Anytime I was willing to open up, I had an audience, similar to experiences I had had and trips I'd taken early in the year to Fiji and Mexico a couple times. There are women all over the world looking for role models, inspiration, and business/political leaders, and I feel obligated to answer. It has been about 2 months since my son's passing. In that time, I started a fund in his name to help the understanding and acceptance of people with special needs. And as I refer to them, people with special lessons to teach us an endless love. And they also lack filters like I do. I have grown my real estate business and opened up a consulting company, in large part to naming, claiming, and aiming my strengths. If I can still keep my talents as strengths during this challenging time, finding happiness, being grateful, and working in my gift zones, then I can do it at any time and accomplish anything I choose to focus them on. And the good news is, on the other side of your greatest challenges come your greatest strengths and your greatest potential for growth. Embrace those opportunities. I am so grateful for Brandon and Darren and helping me really change not just how I run my business, but how I change my vision and my dreams.